Welcome to a new episode of A Guide to Lotro. In today's episode, the Shire. This is the land of farms. But most importantly, it is the land of the hobbits, the halflings, that like to party. And party. 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 Yeah, I need a break. The Shire is located in Eriador. And in Eriador, somewhere here in the center. The Shire is located between the Breland in the east, Evendim in the north, and the Erethloin in the west. The story of this region is tightly bound to the hobbits, which are inhabiting this place for over 1,000 years. The hobbits is a race of short-grown men which firstly originated in the Vales of Anduin. They would usually colonize the forests in between the mountains. In the video about Angmar we learned that Sauron was in secret re-establishing his evil kingdom in Dol Guldur, found in the southern Mirkwood. Around this time, his evil presence would grow and spread even into the Vales of Anduin. This forced many hobbits to flee from that terror westwards into Eriador. The hobbits relocated partially in Dunland, Enedvite and parts of Cardolan and Rudor. Some of them were also seeking refuge in the kingdom of Arthedain. By the current king of Arthedain, Argeleb II, granted those hobbits control over the region that we call the Shire today. The Shire was therefore under the control of Arthedain. This all happened around 1,300 years before the War of the Ring. The hobbits started to colonize the Shire, mostly as farmers. They were controlled by the king of Arthedain. They would also aid his army in war by sending out hobbit archers. One of the most prominent army they sent out were 400 hobbit archers in the Battle of Fornost. After the fall of the last king of Arthedain, the hobbits introduced some sort of king they called Thane. The current Thane is Paladin Tugh II, living in the Tugborough. Originally, the Shire was zoned into 4 farthings: north, south, west and east. There was also an unofficial hobbit colony in Buckland, which is east of the Brandywine River, and not really part of the Shire. The 4 zones would lose of importance over the time, and would rather evolve into regions inhabited and characterized by a family or clan living there. For example, we have the Tuckland, which is inhabited by hobbits called Tuk. The last name of a hobbit would therefore give information about where are you coming from in the Shire. The Shire did not face many wars. The biggest 2 incidents were an orc raid in the Greenfields, which was heroically met and defeated by Bandobras Tuk and its kin. 100 years before the War of the Ring, there is also a recording of a white wolf attack, which happened during a long and terrible winter happening in Eriador. During the War of the Ring, there was even an incident where Saruman almost took over the entire Shire. He corrupted the hobbit Lotho Sackville Baggins into buying lands in the South Farthings to then station troops of Isengard there. They then kidnapped the current mayor, Will Whitfoot, making Lotho the boss of the Shire. To gain control over the Shire himself, Saruman sent Grima Wormtongue in order to kill Lotho Sackville Baggins. After Frodo and the hobbits destroyed the Ring of Power and they came back to the Shire, they freed the Shire from Saruman's reign. start of the landscape section, we start with the capital of the Shire called Delving. This is the capital of the Shire, where you can find a stable master connecting to other parts of Eriador. There's also a little crafting section, mostly famous for its oven. On the town square, you can also find the current mayor, Will Whitfoot. To the north of Delving there is Little Delving. This is where Hobbit players start off their journey after the tutorial in Archet. More to the south there is the Rushok Bog and Needlehole. This is a swamp filled with insects and slugs. Needlehole is a hobbit and dwarven encampment found at the border to Erethluin. If you follow the path after this bridge, you will find a portal that brings you to the Erethluin. To the east of Delving there is Waymead. Waymead is an encampment where parts of the Great East Road can be found. To the southeast of Waymead there is the Tuckborough or the Tuckland. This is the place where the Tuck family or clan is living. Tuckborough is a hobbit village with a greater cave on top of a mountain called the Great Smiles. This is also the place where you can find the current Thane, Paladin Tuck II. To the north of the Tuckland there is Hobbiton and Bywater. Hobbiton is a bigger hobbit village that you can find in the Shire. And Bywater is a smaller village next to it. If you cross the river and this bridge and go up the mountain, you will find Bag End. This is the home of Bilbo and Frodo Baggins. You are even allowed to go inside and look around. Following the Great East Road to the east there is Throckmorton. This is a swamp with a few hobbit houses located inside. To the east of Throckmorton there is a place called the Green Hill Country. This is another farming land with a few hobbit villages. One of those villages is called Woodhall. The southern part of Green Hill Country you can find this river, and across this river there is a bandit encampment called the Narrow Cleave. At the west riverbank of the Brandywine River there is the Marish. In the south you can find Bam Furlong, which is the farm of Farmer Maggot. Before you cross the Brandywine Bridge, we will find this village which is called Stock. There is also Butchford. This is another hobbit village, mostly you can find a lot of farms there. There is a POI called the Bridgeford Walls, which is probably a Arthedain ruin which is now infested with wolves and a warg. The Greenfields is the border to Evendim. This is a place where around 300 years ago a orc raid happened. One of the hobbit encampments here is called Scary, which is located next to the Scary Quarry. Another hobbit village is Broken Borings. There is also a goblin encampment called Golf in Bull's Hole. The last place we have is the Bind Bowl Wood. This is a bigger forest. With a hobbit village called Overhill. And a place full of spiders called Lob's Grove. The Shire has a bunch of unique deeds. Before we come to the special ones, let's have a look at the Slayer deeds first. First Slayer deed is the Wolf Slayer. Here you can choose from two locations, either the Bridgefield Walls or the Brownlock's Farm, which is here. Behind Brownlock's Farm there is also a wolf den that you should probably farm as well. The Bridgefield Walls are here. This is another great location for the Wolf Slayer deed. For Harvest Flies, you can go to the Yale Heights. This is a small hill with a bunch of ruins on top, which has a lot of those Harvest Flies on top and around it. For spiders, you can farm the Scary Quarry. You will find a lot of spiders here in and outside the quarry. At the border to Evendim, you can find a lot of goblin encampments. Bandits can be found in the Narrow Cleave. And for slugs, you can go to the Rushock Bog. There's a hidden deed called the Shire Brewmaster. For this deed, you have to go to 5 of the most famous inns in the Shire and finish a quest for them each. The first inn is in Mickledelving. This one is called the Bird and Baby Inn. The next one is the Green Dragon and found in Bywater. The Floating Log Inn in Frogmorton. The Golden Perk in Stock. And the last one you can find in Broken Borings. Another special deed is called No Place for Spoiled Pies. For this deed you have to go to Hobbiton and find Holly Hornblower. Holly is famous for her pies that she bakes. Unfortunately, she put spoiled berries in some of them, and you have to now retrieve them and bring them back to her. You will have to bring back around 15 pies from the bigger cities and villages in the Shire and bring them back to her. In order to make this a challenge, you have to dodge hungry hobbits, which you will find in the villages. The last special deed is called Restoring the Quick Post. For this deed, you will need to go to the postmasters of each village and deliver bundles from village to village. There is around 12 bundles you have to deliver. There's a lot of special things actually in the Shire that I can show you. One of them is the housing of the Shire. Here you could buy your own house and decorate it with your decoration items that you find in the game. Next we have the party tree. The party tree is a location for many seasonal and repetitive events in Lotro. but hobbits seem to have party here 24/7 almost. In Delving, you will find Bingo Buffin. Bingo Buffin is a hobbit that will start you a quest chain which reaches from level 5 to level, I think, 100. It is around 80 quests that basically prepare and follow Bingo on its adventures into the world. This is definitely a side quest and can be done while leveling your character. Bingo will also reward you with Bingo badges. There is a barter for Bingo badges next to the Stable Master in Delving. In Delving or the Shire, you will also find the Cooking Guild. The entrance to the Cooking Guild is here at the Crafting Hall. The last thing I want to show you are the chicken quests at Sandzone's farm. The chicken quests are unlocked after solving a riddle from a quest given by Sandzone the farmer. After this quest, you will get the chicken quests. You can play as the female and the male chicken afterwards. The first quest you will get is for the female chicken. This is some sort of tutorial and introduction to the chicken quests. This quest will turn you into a chicken with around 130 HP. You will then need to run in the entire Shire as a chicken and find other animals. After you have finished the quest for the female chicken, you will get the quests for the male chicken. The male chicken quests are very straightforward. You will have to run from Sandzone's farm to up to even Rivendell to talk to an animal there. You will be a 100 HP chicken all the way, and at some point every mob that sees you will basically one-shot you, so you have to watch out. The reputation in the Shire is called the Metham Society. The traders are found in Delving at the Metham House and inside. To farm this reputation, you have to wait a bit in case you're still leveling in the Shire. As you can see here, you will drop later on in the Barrow Downs and Goblin Town the Metham items. When you are acquainted with the reputation, you can enter the Metham House. Here inside you will also find the main trader. The Metham Society has a bunch of cool cosmetic items that you can acquire. Let's have a look at them. For example, this cosmetic weapon, the cast iron frying pan. Or a pitchfork. A butter knife. A shovel. You can also get the prized mailbag, which lets you summon a mailbag in your hand for some time. With the firefly jar, when you use it, you will get a firefly aura around your character. And of course we have a horse skin called the prized Metham Society horse. Well, this was it again with another episode of a guide to Lotro. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you want to see more, feel free to like this video, comment it, and even subscribe if you want to see future updates on my channel. You can also follow my Twitch channel if you want to see me play Lotro live. Thanks for watching, and I see you in another episode of a guide to Lotro, where we will talk about Erefluin. Enjoy!